We're back from the ISTA conference in beautiful San Diego on sexuality and consciousness, and I'm here with another amazing speaker, Mark Zyga. Thank you very much for giving me this time.
Yes, thank you for having me.
So tell me a bit about yourself. I think it says that you're a hypnotherapist. You have a lot of credentials around you and a lot of certifications. Maybe you could start giving us a bit of feedback, background.
Yeah, well, I started as a hypnotherapist, learned guided imagery, something called NLP, but I've also spent a lot of time with energy medicine, so working with shamans in Peru, Reiki master, other energy systems of energy medicine, healing around energy. So for me, a lot of my background is this combination of energy and this other kind of spiritual work or work around cognitive and even psychology and that. And some of this actually comes out from my past, where I was actually a computer programmer, but more so a teacher of computers at computer programming at large universities, as well as designing large-scale computer systems for Fortune 100 companies, the biggest companies in the world. What I do is I call this whole other stuff, other people's stuff. And other people's stuff has actually, yes, this old 3,000-year-old traditional that has also this other layer of cultural society where we are now, what our world around us, the family, the stuff we grew up with, and back to our personal layer. So we have these layers of other people's stuff that were all ingrained in these scripts about what we're supposed to do, how we're supposed to think, and as a child, we just kind of take it in and say, oh, this is what we're supposed to do. At some point we learn that, well, maybe there's a better way, and we might start changing to a better way, but the problem is some of those scripts are still working in the subconscious. And that's the hard part to change.
And it feels very strong. So a lot of my focus and the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing is really to get as many people as possible becoming aware of this old paradigm mentality and reprogramming them or giving them content, new programming language or a new script for the new paradigm. And that's why I was drawn to your talk.
The three levels that I go into is what I'd call what's good for me is, well, awareness. So the first step, as I would call it, would be stepping into awareness. The second step is about understanding how I think. And the third is manifesting what I want. So it actually becomes this kind of spiral thing where the more you become aware, the more you understand how you think or what your thinking is going on, what's going on. The more you do that, the more you manifest. The more you manifest, the more you become aware. And this becomes ever big. So it kind of like starts out small and then gets bigger and bigger. And it is a paradigm shift. And in some ways, it's actually related to how they efficiently design computer systems, because they start out small and they find out what's right and they keep moving with it and they keep moving with it and they get bigger and better. Versus the old model, which was like, let's do this, and by the time you do this, you're already over here because it took so long that you're already out of date. Mm-hmm. So with this other model of this kind of spiral of awareness, understanding, and keeping this thing going, you can step into this new model and ever growing, ever evolving. We talk about taking self-love and making it powerful and bigger so you can have more love with another person, or more so this new paradigm of learning how to share. And sharing love versus, say, falling in love. And love, as I put it in my book, is not a person, place, or thing. It's a state of mind that you actively cultivate and create to the level and scope that you want and choose to share. If you think about the self-love model, and simply, and even what I talk about in the book, simply put, is that the second part of this taking self-love and relationship is the golden rule. Do unto others. And it's so simple. It's very simple. It's like, okay, if the more I love myself, the more I'll share that with somebody, but I won't do that to them because I don't want them to do that to me.
Right.
And that becomes really, really truthful into your core when you actually become very personal and true and authentic with what that really is versus what you thought you wanted. And as I say, well, as we said, other people's stuff. All those other layers that are in there that we think what we want. And and that's why we keep going with the spiral. We keep learning about ourselves. We keep pulling away other people's stuff until we get to our authentic. And once we have this authentic self-love, we can then share it much better, more easily, not only with one person, whether it's multiple people or in our world in general, how we create and manifest love to a bigger scope for anything around us.
That's amazing. So you just launched a book, or you had a book out?
I just launched it about 6 months ago.
What is it called? Tell us about it.
It's called The Core Question. Core Question subtitle: Who am I? So really, this whole who am I is a question we've all asked ourselves at some point in our life. And of course, the question who am I leads into two other questions. What do I want to do when I grow up, and how do I get there? So the book looks at that.
Where do we find out more information about you, your book, and all your work?
The website for the book is thecorequestion.com.
Okay.
Or my personal website, thetruthwithin.com. So that talks about my work personally, and it'll lead you to the book website.
So any final thoughts or words of wisdom that you could offer our listeners as a conclusion?
Well, be true to yourself, and understanding your own truth is really important. Being able to step into your heart, and and really answer that question, who am I, really truthfully, and get to that core of who you are.
Amazing. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. There you have it. Mark Zyga. You're watching thespiritualplayboy.com. Don't forget, rate this video, comment on this video, and share it. And as I always say, let love free, because it's the only way we'll bring in any change. Peace.
Namaste.